This show was produced by the Geek Happy Network, creators of the very best in audible oracle entertainment.
Going through school and everything, also relationships were not easy. Now,
man, dating in Vancouver, talk about it.
Let me tell you, it's one of those things. So when we first arrived, I was not excited for dating at all because like I said, I had a lot of confidence issues, right? And so for me, it was almost like if somebody showed interest, you have an underlying interest over there. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you need to step back a little. But then I enjoyed being in a space where I could like someone, but there was no commitment. I could go back to my life, but I like you and I want us to have a thing.
But
don't get too close. But you can't really form those kind of rules in a typical relationship, right? But then and they used to have, a bunch of crushes, but that's where it used to end. In my second year, I fell for someone, and I had that comfort of being, okay, this is my space, and then I will like you within this vicinity, and then when I go home, you're non-existent to me. And for 2 years, that was the case.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's one of the things that I really enjoyed about that whole situation, right? And also what used to help was the fact that there was never a solid, fully solid understanding. Like, it's not one of those things but sometimes I would want more, and then sometimes I'm like, not really.
And that doesn't work in a relationship.
Exactly.
You can't have it like that.
You can't have it both ways, And so, and then, he ended up moving on and everything and so on and so forth, broke my heart and everything. But at the same time, I'm like, you are indecisive in that time. And I realized it's okay to be indecisive, to some degree, but just don't involve anyone.
Other people. That's the thing. Yeah.
I told myself, so long as you don't know what you want and you don't have that capacity. And sometimes I think about it, the way I live with my siblings. Can I imagine myself living with somebody who's not my family to that extent and love them like and be like my husband and so on and so forth? The truth is no. That is the solid truth, right? And I feel like I'm not there yet. I have never been there. I am currently not there, and I'm not sure how long it'll take me to get there. But when I do, I will make it'll not be one of those, let's date for 10 years, then get married. No. Yeah. And this is how, so a lot of my friends got into relationships early into UBC. Do you know how many bottles of wine I have carried and boxes of tissue because guys broke up, right? And I told them it's because when at this age, discovering yourself is not easy. Yeah, figuring out what I like, what I don't like, how I even feel about, there was a time in my life you could harass me, you could even abuse me, and I still wouldn't know.
You didn't know, yeah.
I just like, maybe that's just their behavior. But and it happened even at UBC. Somebody, but the harassment I was receiving was not that overt one in your face where somebody's trying to slap you around. It's
emotional.
Exactly, it's that emotional, overwhelming me emotionally. But I didn't know, right? And then later on, you grow up and you're like, this person, you are not, you are not being a good friend to me. You are being, tasteless. And so, it's important you go through that on your own. Because my friends who went through it with their boyfriends, like 2 have managed to, break that, space, and now they're into that whole grown folk thing and they're getting married and everything. But majority
more often than not, it doesn't work out.
It does not.
It's like, what do you call it? Childhood sweethearts and all that. Like, there's only a handful of people who can have a childhood sweetheart.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people carry that childhood sweetheart mentality, where it's like childhood sweetheart, high school sweetheart, or like if it's not high school sweetheart, it's like university sweetheart, and everyone in uni. I remember like thinking about that, just like when you come to Vancouver, everyone has a boyfriend or girlfriend.
And that's the pressure came from there.
Man.
The pressure came from there because also me, it was a very weird space to be in because it's like, I'm insecure. I don't want him. But everybody seems to have one. So where do I stand, And so, but at the same time, it's just like, I never had that type of, like I said, I had a lot of crushes.
Yeah,
and, a lot
but that wasn't your focus.
No, it's just a bunch of flings, those things that I felt that would boost my confidence here and there.
Yeah.
But I was just like, listen, I need to find a way to boost my own ego without somebody telling me, you're pretty and things like those, So, so that was it. And that also after the whole 2-year situation with that particular guy, I decided I need to control how I feel about these relationships, right? So my mom always told me, Maria, don't be in a hurry because you'll be married longer than you'll be unmarried. Right? Yeah,
that makes sense.
Exactly. She's always like, you'll be married longer than you'll be unmarried. So don't be in a rush per se, right?